Welcome to the Power Airwaves, the Power Manufacturing Solutions podcast series where we talk about manufacturing issues that impact you.
Hey, this is Travis Stirewalt, and welcome to Power Airwaves podcast, the arm of Power in a lot of talking online. I'm good at that.
Yes, you are.
How about you, Tim?
I don't like to talk a lot.
Well, I'm going to make you talk today.
That's fine.
We're going to ask questions. My guest today is Tim Hynes, who is actually has a very pivotal role here at Power, a very important role as service and repair manager, or the service department manager. Oversees a lot. So I'm glad to have him on board. A couple things I want to get out of the way. One, PowerAirwaves.com is the podcast resource online, where you find us online. It's a sister to Power Live, which has been our outlet for videos and presentations and how-to videos, troubleshooting videos for years now. But you can find that at airpowerlive.com. Or you can find it all at one address on the internet, and that is airpower-usa.com. So we'll have it all put up here. One more thing. As we're talking today, if there's anything else that you want to hear, if there's things that you want us to cover with Power Airwaves, please email me at Travis, Traveis, at airpower-airwaves.com. The purpose of this podcast, really, and I want to keep reiterating this, is to educate our customers, and even more importantly to us, because we make money in sales, right? Ultimately, we're selling. But our potential customers out there that don't know who Power is need to know, want a little bit more information about us on, leading tools, equipment, and engineered solutions in manufacturing. So, again, if you want to hear something, if you'd like us to cover something or interview a specific person, please reach out to me at Travis at airpower-airwaves.com. Tim, good to have you on board.
Thank you, sir. Good
the COVID handshake. Yes, we are socially distanced,
Yes.
Other end of the table. So Tim Hynes is the service manager of Power. So you're located in High Point.
That's correct.
High Point, North Carolina, which is the corporate office location of Power since 1967. So let's talk about you a little bit. Who is Tim Hynes? What makes you? What's your path to service management?
Service guy at heart, mechanic at heart. Been mechanic for several years and got the opportunity to change roles in a different industry. So I jumped on the opportunity and joined Power in December of 2016.
Okay.
Started off as a service tech and went through, ended up going into the project management group, and then from there got offered the service manager's position. So just a service guy at heart. I like fixing things. I like working with my hands. But besides that, outside of here, family man, love my family, got, wife and some kids, and
Perfect.
I love the outdoors, love to play music, just things of that nature.
And we're going to have to talk about music sometime, because I'm a really big fan of a lot of different things. I want to skip back just a little bit, or jump back just a little bit instead of skipping forward. You mentioned a couple words there, project management. You were a part of the project management team here. And I know that's also a very pivotal role, so we will schedule some time with that team leader in the future on a podcast. But project management is a whole different scope, obviously, than what you're dealing with. They kind of mesh a little bit, but so service department. A lot of people know service departments. Probably the most frequented service department in most people's minds is a car dealership.
Correct.
You buy a car, it needs repaired, and you go back in order to keep it under warranty or whatever. You go back to the dealer and they repair it for you. And they're the experts in what they know.
Right.
If you buy a Ford or you buy a Chevy, I know there's a lot of contention between North Carolina and Tennessee where I live on who's got the better truck.
Right.
Or Dodge, can't forget Dodge, on who's got the better trucks or who's got the better cars. But you know, if you buy a model of a car, you go back there because they're experts at the repairs.
Right.
So what does that mean? It means your repair is probably going to be done better, quicker, and more accurately done the first time.
Yes.
Right? So in essence, you control that aspect for Air Power.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that a little bit. I want to keep. There's a lot to cover, so I want to keep it in line. So let's take a look at the overall, the centers or the locations of where we are with Air Power. Like, how many service departments do we have?
We have 6 currently that'll be in operation moving forward in 2021, with High Point being the central. We have a branch in Chattanooga, Salem, Virginia, Cockeysville, Maryland, Piedmont, South Carolina, and then Orlando, Florida.
Yep. All right. So High Point is actually the one that you work in, the
Yes.
corporate office, and it has got the biggest footprint for service and repair.
Yes.
So you have how many employees?
17, including myself.
Okay. And then of those 17, how many are in High Point?
9.
9. So over half are in High Point.
Right.
So when I used the analogy earlier, the Ford, the Chevy, the Dodge, let's look at the brands
Okay.
that we cover.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear about something, just so that our audience knows. There is a difference between you sending something in that you've owned, it's past its warranty, but it's still a good tool or a good piece of equipment
Right.
that still has a lot of life left in it, but it's not under warranty. And then there's a big difference between what is under warranty, a tool or a spray gun or a powder coating gun
Right.
that is under warranty, and how you process those. There's a lot of differences. So let's go down through some brands. Now I've got my list here, my cheat sheet. So under warranty repair, we have GEMA,
Correct.
which is powder coating equipment.
That's
We do a lot on powder or on Air Power Live with GEMA. But so the GEMA guns, so you would be in the repair center for what? The gun,
The guns,
the controller,
controllers, yep, the individual box units.
right?
Even if it's an automated system, sometimes when the control panel goes out, those get sent in for repair.
Yeah, because I mean those the controls are very, very similar. You know, there's a few differences to them at times, but okay. And then Graco is another one.
Yeah.
So Graco is going to be your pumps, your liquid spray guns, your metering, your paint metering systems.
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for? Dispensing,
Yeah.
metering and dispensing. So your PD2Ks, your
Right. HFRs, anything that.
Oh
Graco-
yeah.
Anything that Graco actually makes, we service.
And I know we have a great track record with them. And GEMA, as a matter of fact, is also part of the Graco
Correct.
family. So that's 2 there. Carlisle, another one.
Yep.
Liquid finishing equipment, spray guns and whatnot. Now we're getting into a different world, in a world that I'm not as familiar with, but we're getting into the Ingersoll Rand,
Correct.
Sioux Tools, Cleco. Let's talk about that a little bit. So I've been here since roughly February, March of 2014. So since then, we have made major advances
Right.
in our company's ability to attack, the tool and assembly market. So that's a big deal for us with Ingersoll Rand, Sioux Tools, and Cleco. Now those three are like official warranty,
Correct.
right? But we repair.
We repair it. Pretty much any brand that you see that we sell, we repair or can do the logistics side of it to get it repaired for you.
Okay.
There is times that there's certain things we can't repair in-house, but we have the distributor relationship with the vendor to be able to send it back to them for repair, so you don't
Correct.
have to worry about the shipping and finding, how to return it and things of that nature. We'll take care of
But
that.
we take that
we take that
pain
roll
off of our client because we're selling it. We want to back it up.
Right.
Cleco, you and I had discussed this prior. It's one of those unique things where we were actually one of the first distributors in the nation
To be recognized as an authorized service center.
for Cleco. That's huge. That's huge. So, when people are buying tools, a lot of people think about it being, 1, 2, 3, but in some cases in our world, you're going in and you're selling tens, or I don't know, you might be selling 50 or 100 in at a time to a large manufacturing plant.
Correct.
So having a service role there is critical because just you now you have one company with even 20 tools on the floor in operation at all times. Well, now you take that times 100 customers that all have different tools out there. I can imagine that could be a juggling match for you guys at times.
Oh, it does get that way. We try to do our best, but it does get to be a juggling match at times because of the sheer volume.
Yes.
Because we do have a large customer base.
But we do have processes,
Yes.
internal processes to be able to break that down piece by piece and be able to manage those. And that's really what essentially your position is over that the controller process. The process of making sure that even the smallest things are done in a timely manner.
That's where the team atmosphere comes in, because we do have 3 service coordinators that actually work under me in that 17 employment number.
Okay.
2 are here in High Point and 1's in Maryland. And they kind of run the show. If it wasn't for the teamwork, I don't think any of us would get it done. But they do a lot of the work behind the scenes that I couldn't do by myself. They handle all the paperwork. They manage the phone calls when the customers call in, making sure the quotes go out, make sure the POs are received properly, so that way we can process the customer's equipment as fast as we can. So they play a vital role in what we do.
Absolutely. There were a couple more here that I wanted to make sure we talk about. And we're going to talk about the acquisition shortly, but I want to touch on 2 more, Interpack and Harrington Hoist. So those are also falling under our official warranty repair centers.
Right.
So I guess those translate over into the gun moving, tool moving, axis or whatever, and then you've got the hoist systems for heavy lifting or strategic lifting to try to. Some of it might be ergonomic, some of it might be just because nobody's going to be able to lift that, or no 5 guys can lift that. It's going to be we've got to hoist that somewhere. So that has to do with Zenmar.
Correct.
And we'll touch on that here in a minute. So in the last few years, Air Power made 2 acquisitions, and I know that's impacted service.
Correct.
One of those was Lee Patterson out of Orlando, Florida, and we've got a great team down there. And actually, Lee Patterson had been in business longer than Air Power.
Yes.
Since the 40s, I believe, late 40s. And I might be wrong. We fact checked that, but what I wanted to say was their business has primarily been in finishing. So they had another brand that they represented, was not GEMA. Now they are full GEMA. But they do know, and that was on the powder side. I'm sorry, I should clarify, because they do a ton of liquid also.
Right.
So they're very familiar with the Gracos, the Carlisles. But So their service center is pretty self-sufficient for what they need to do down there, correct?
Yes.
So the impact, I guess, the greater impact has been that now we're training maybe some tool repair,
Yes.
And cross-training down there, so that now they have those other skills
Correct.
in-house that they may have had somewhat earlier, but certainly not what we have developed with Air Power up in the other areas. Let's talk about the other acquisition that has actually had a massive impact
Yes.
with Air Power, and that was Zenmar.
Correct.
So let's talk about that. Why is Zenmar unique in the acquisition? How it relates to service?
As far as service goes, it gives us a broader capability to serve our customers in this region, just due to the fact that certain things we would have to send back to a manufacturer because of the size of it. We just did not have the footprint.
Right.
Capabilities
Well,
here.
there were brands. The root there is there were brands that we didn't have any.
Brands too.
That Air Power didn't have access to.
We have access to certain brands of hoist and stuff, but when we gained Harrington Hoist, it's a large distributor of hoist and overhead lifting devices. And then also we gained Interpack.
Correct.
So those are two big manufacturers that we currently did not have access to in our current footprint until that acquisition happened.
Okay. So I'm going to run down through here. You and I talked ahead of time.
Correct.
And this is a nice little list here, so I want to make sure that we don't leave anything out. But these are things that Air Power really was not dealing with at all. This was not in our wheelhouse, or very few.
Very few.
And a lot of times our service department would probably have to go outside the box to find support, or to the manufacturer. But, cranes, bridge cranes, trolley assemblies, vacuum lifters, and then heavy construction tool repair, rock drills, chipping hammers, pneumatic tampers, bench rammers, crane assemblies, winches, and pneumatic saws. So these are all things that your teams are starting to learn to adapt to outside of just the Cockeysville, Maryland location with Zenmar, but you're adapting in other branches. Yes. And this is all stuff these are all product lines that Air Power has now begun to expand in. Correct. Company-wide. We're not just limited now to, Cockeysville, Maryland. On our website, there's a list of things that are a list of functions, or what our service department has to offer. Correct. I wanted to go through those. One was factory trained technicians. Let's talk about that.
We have a good relationship with most of the major manufacturers that we deal with. Graco being one of them. We've had just recently we had Graco come in and house an internal class just for us, and
okay.
I think we had probably somewhere around 10 or 11 people involved in that. From the service group to our project group to our engineering group, we had several different groups involved. We have good relationships with. We've sent our guys to GEMA for training. We've sent our guys to Ingersoll Rand for training. Been trying to get some updated Sioux training, but with this COVID, it kind of put a damper on that this year. Trying to get some more factory trained AMCO tool repair training out in Portland, Oregon, but due to COVID, we've had to kind of postpone that. But we do have those guys who've been here with some long-term time in-house with us that have worked here for quite a while, that have had all this factory training prior. And so we can always try to bring the factory in or get our guys to the factory to update that training.
I was going to say, when you hire on a new hire in service, I can only imagine that there is a battery of training that goes right off the get-go.
Yeah, someone who's never touched the type of equipment that we repair. Usually we try to bring them in and let them sit with our guys for quite some time, because, like I said, we have a lot of years of experience. We have several guys that's in the service department's been here 20 plus years.
Right.
So we pull from that, and then also any factory training that we need to get them to help us maintain our authorizations and things of that nature. We try to get them to as fast as we can.
Yeah, if somebody's going to be working on a GEMA gun, or a Graco gun or a Carlisle gun, whatever it is. There's a lot that can be messed up really fast, if they don't know or don't care. So, taking that time to get that correct training, I'm sure is a critical. Factory authorized service.
Yeah. So basically, factory authorized is meaning that we have met the distributor agreement to house certain repairs in-house. There's a lot of manufacturers that we still may have to send certain products back to. There's a lot of manufacturers that we've gained the trust and the ability because of the years of longevity of working with them that they trust our service department to repair these things under their warranty guidelines.
Right.
So that having that ability to be able to repair it in-house versus having to send it back to the manufacturer for our customer, it aids in the ability of the service that we can provide.
Yep. All right. Preventative maintenance.
This is
key word.
Preventive maintenance is a really good thing, and this is something that a lot of manufacturers have great programs already in place. Some of them are our customers in the manufacturing world, and then there's some that just that haven't gotten to that level yet where they need us to come in and we can do maintenance contracts. We just signed one with a customer here recently that will begin next week, and it's for a year's time frame. We're going to maintain their 2-component paint system. We do offer those things, and it's just a good way that if your maintenance department is not fully staffed because of Corona, say that every company has suffered through this time frame. Our guys are here. You feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to try our best to get somebody on site to aid in this. Those are services that we offer.
Emergency repair.
Yes, we do have basically. We get a call. We try to deploy a technician as fast as we can on site. For our field service or emergency repairs.
Yeah, because a lot of these things we're not talking about a tool.
Right.
Just something like unplug it or whatever and get it down here. Something like a PD2K that's mounted on the side of a booth. It's not easy to diagnose that and take maybe a component off and bring it here.
Right.
You really are best suited to have somebody come out and take care of that. But with that, there's always cost involved.
Right.
Road time for your employee. There's time at the plant. There's time taking them away from the repairs that they could be doing here at the plant. So, there's always cost associated, right? But I would imagine that the emergency repairs are, when I look at emergency repairs, I'm thinking we're not getting anything done in this plant until this is fixed. So if you talk about some manufacturers, then that downtime, if it's on them, is shame on them. If it's on the tool or if it's on the component of the equipment, it's not good. Like it's hell in a handbag, let's call it.
Yeah.
At that point, very quickly. All right, so emergency repair, then we got warranty repair. We really discussed that under factory authorized service. And then service contracts, you touched on that. Calibration, that's another thing,
Yeah, we do in-house calibrations on a lot of advanced assembly tools that we sell. And ours are calibrations. They are not ISO certifications. Ours are tied back to NIST standards because all of the equipment we use are calibrated annually.
You're talking about like the torque
testers.
So you're getting precision on your torque. So it's one thing to say that it's working good, but it's another thing to actually measure it.
And we provide like a 30 run. Well, we do customization on those rundowns as well if the customer needs, but our standard is a 30 component. 30 rundowns will give you the rundown torque setting that's hit and show you the difference between what's actually configured in the tool and things of that nature. But that's a service that we provide, and we do several of those annually. I wouldn't even begin to. I've never actually calculated the number of those type of calibrations, but there's also other calibrations that we do in the field that are totally different. We're a big distributor for breathing air systems.
Right.
And those things, OSHA standard states that you need to follow the recommended maintenance practices of the manufacturer. So those manufacturers have certain calibration requirements.
Right.
We actually go out in the field and do those on site.
Well, not only that, they're critical.
Yeah,
you look at a breathing air system. There's literally people that die because they hook it up wrong, or they don't check what they need to check with the filters.
Correct.
How much can they capture yet, or is it full? Do we need to clean it out and start over? It's a life or death situation. So yeah, calibration can be really important.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the person who's watching this or listening to it, and they're like, okay, yeah, I need some things done. They may or may not have bought it from us.
It
doesn't matter
where you bought it from.
Let's talk about that. How do they find us? How do they reach out? So I guess number one is they could call the 800 number, 800-334-1001. Super simple. Website.
Yep.
What do they need to do when they go to the website? airpower-usa.com.
Right. On our website, I'm pretty sure the last time I was on there, we had it dialed in. It's every single page that you're on. If you go to the very bottom of the page and slide over to your left, there's a contact us spot, and there's a repair form in there. The easiest way to send something into us is to print that repair form off and fill it out and send it in with the tool. We'll then log it in, and we go through our normal process. That's the easiest way to get a tool to us or a piece of equipment to us to repair.
Okay.
And the more information you can provide on that form, just the easier it is on the logistics side of it to get it logged in and taken care of.
You know what we have right here?
Yep, I do.
We got a copy of that form. So we're gonna put it up on the screen here. Hopefully we can catch this and put it on the screen. But this is basically the repair form that you'll find. I know you can't see it very well, and those of you who are listening and not watching, you really can't see it.
But you go to the website.
But if you go to the website, you'll find it. But this is the service and repair packing slip, and it's basically a request for work to be done. All the basic normal stuff: company name, date, address, where you're located, contact name, and all the contact information, and then what is the product, the model number, and the serial number. And then basically it's going through here and asking you, what do you want to do? Do you want us to estimate? Do you want us to repair without an estimate? But I noticed the caveat there, only if the repair is less than 50% of the replacement value of the tool, which makes sense. Yeah, go ahead. Tool's worth $500. Go ahead and repair it for $1,000. We're good.
And that's one thing that baffles me at times, because it is sometimes cheaper to buy a new tool.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't want to lose the repair business, but I'd much rather the customer have something that now comes with a factory warranty.
Exactly. Now they can have it repaired for free if it breaks down.
Now we do offer on any of our repairs, we offer a 90-day in-house warranty on anything that we repair.
Okay.
Of the components replaced. So we do offer that for our customers. And but if a repair is going to exceed the cost of the tool, or even 50%, even if they've told me to repair it, I still reach back out to them, or have the service coordinators reach back out to them and state, hey, this is over 50%. Do you want to proceed this way, or would you rather purchase a new tool?
Right.
Just for the simple fact, like I said, you get the full factory warranty of that tool versus our 90-day repair warranty.
I guess the situation would dictate what has to happen, because
correct.
If somebody if it's going to cost a little more than 50% to repair that, and they can put that back in the plant and use it as a backup for whenever they do have something down, I get it. I understand it. But if they're constantly buying tools and you're now at 60-70% of the price of that tool just to repair that tool and get it working again, there's a lot of depends on what that tool is. But yeah, especially in the higher volume tool purchaser or user, you're going to just chuck and keep running with a new one.
And that's why we always prefer to send the customer an estimate prior to doing any work.
Right.
We just want them to see what we're doing and what they're getting quoted, so that they can actually have a list of, okay, here's what this tool has, and here's what they're repairing on this tool. I just think it gives them a peace of mind to have that quote in their hand to make the decision.
All right, and then the other one was, so we had estimate before repair, repair without an estimate under conditions, and then a warranty proof of purchase required. So obviously, if you are interested in Air Power, looking at a piece of equipment that you have, we're going to need to know the history of that proof of purchase. At most companies, you do have a record of that with POs and whatnot. And then it goes down through there. It gives you that several times for several different pieces of equipment.
Right.
And then it has a location selector that basically you can select a location that you would prefer the work to be done. Now, if you select Chattanooga and the particular tool that you need worked on is best suited in the High Point tool lab to do the calibration or to do the repair, we're going to make that happen. We'll make that happen. But if you need to drop it off there, we can take it from there. All right, so that's cool. So this is actually not a secret document. This is one that we have all over the website. So if you do go to the website, if you click on what we do, and then services, and then look in the middle, you'll see a repair. When you touch the repair, below that you'll see a big button that says contact us, and you can do that. Or you can hit the button that says download the service and repair form. So, and that goes to you.
Well, you printed off. You talking about the actual repair?
Yeah, when this comes in,
when that comes in, that comes in, and regardless of what location, whenever they open the box, they pull it out. It'll either be a technician at a branch location or a service coordinator in the branch locations that have service coordinators.
So you just hit on something. So they can actually print this out.
I would, yes, we prefer you to print that out and send it in with each.
And then pack up your tool in a box, put this inside with it, and make sure you have all your contact information and everything is there, phone, email, the whole 9 yards. And then you can actually deliver that to one of the repair facilities or mail it to the repair facility, and then we'll pick it up from that point and start moving forward. Right. Some of these tools are not cheap. So any type of special delivery type scenarios that you would recommend. If UPS or FedEx or postal mail, whatever, being able to secure it.
I would just recommend making sure that you put your insurance on it to cover your costs.
Insure, yep.
Make sure you insure it. We always try to, on return shipments back to the customer, we try to insure it for what the company would deem the value of the tool,
the realistic value
in the current state.
Yeah.
So if the tool's been heavily used, we don't charge you the insurance for a new tool going back.
If it's $1,000 tool and it's well over half of its life, and you've got a good repair to it, but that would never go for more than 50-60% of this value, you're going to insure it at 50 and 60 of its value.
Just to cover, to make sure that we can offer that insurance back to the customer.
That makes total sense. It's funny. I did our very first podcast was with Dan Semp, the president of the company, and I was sharing something with him that I heard one of our account managers say, Eddie Rhodes over in Knoxville, Tennessee. He said that Air Power is unique. We're big enough to serve, small enough to care. I think that really is accentuated with our service department.
We try to, yes, and I think that is a key point. There is times that we get frustrated internally because of the workloads and just the sheer volume of trying to make sure we put this stuff out at a quantity rate, but yet maintain the quality that AirPower is known for. So there is that fine balance that I can't just push equipment out. Excuse me. I can't push the equipment out just to serve faster if every time we send you something back it fails.
Right.
Failures happen, but we want to do our best to keep those to a minimum so that way when you're getting a product back that's repaired from us, it's a quality product.
Correct.
So yeah, and there is that care aspect. I mean, each one of the technicians that work under me and the service coordinators take extreme pride in what we do. So that I'm very thankful to have that team, because I haven't seen any type of work ever go out that, in a sense, they haven't, just poured themselves into cleaning it up to make it look as new as possible again, and to put their own touch on it to make sure that when that operator or that company gets that item back, that it's a quality product. And that's I will agree 100% with what Eddie Rhodes says. We are, big enough to serve, but we're still small enough to care.
Yep. And you look here, we went over these, the assemble, move, and coat. These have been around for a number of years now, and how we categorize products with AirPower. And your department is truly one of those departments that services every aspect of this business.
Yes.
In the assembles, we talked about the tooling. Move, we talked about the hoists and the lifting and the moving, and then the coat with all the finishing, the powder, liquid, and then even with on the assemble, I guess the AFT side, we've just got so much going on. But your service department footprint covers all of that.
Yeah.
So. Finally, I think we'll wrap it up here shortly, but I wanted to touch on something. Another thing that we talked about, and this goes along with AirPower's, really 6 layers of support, and how, you're part of that chain of support, but you've got the account managers that are out there in the field. They're working every day to satisfy a customer's immediate need, right?
Correct.
That's what they do. And immediately backing them up is one of the 3 sales managers, who has a very pivotal role. If Dan used the analogy of the pitcher, being the account manager, and they're out there. Sometimes they can do all 9 innings. Sometimes they only get 1, and it just depends on how heavy the work is for that particular day or that particular customer. But you got the account manager that can, or the sales manager that can really back them up immediately right there. But so that's number 2. Number 3, you've got the specialists. You guys are kind of like a hybrid. You're very specialized,
right,
in all kinds of things, and you probably have people that only work on. The GEMA. Like I know one of them in Opie or Adam down in Chattanooga. He's really good at GEMA.
Oh, yeah, he's one of our best.
He's fantastic. Now he works on all kinds of other things, but I think there are probably some things that they don't do there that he doesn't do in his center. That it's probably moved to somebody else that does that particular equipment, whatever it is, more efficiently. Sorry, we talk a lot, drink a lot. Coke. Just wanted to clarify. I did say that I drink a lot. That's Coca-Cola right there, ladies and gentlemen. The specialists. So you've got application specialists and you have technical specialists. So again, you guys also fulfill that role as well. But so that's the 3rd layer. 4th layer would be the branch support. So you have branch manager, inside sales, and service technicians also fall under the branch that are working out of the branch locations. 5th would be manufacturers reps. So we have regional manufacturers reps, like Graco, for instance. We have numerous Graco. Sometimes we had a situation where we have, like a GEMA, for instance. GEMA says, okay, we're going to give you one person, and that person's going to cover AirPower's footprint for the most part. Right. I think there may have been a little change there with Zenmar, but outside of Zenmar, I know Brian Caudill is our guy. Right. That's one of those situations. But sometimes when Brian's having an issue or Brian needs some additional support and we need that additional support, for GEMA, for instance, we also have that last layer, which is the actual manufacturer, the factory support layer.
Correct.
So you've got to know that all 6 of those layers are working together.
Yes.
To make sure that the customer is handled and the customer is happy.
Correct.
So you guys are a very integral part of that. Tim's, anything else you want to add about the service department?
No, just, want the customers to understand, we do the best job we can, and but just, communicate to us if there's been a problem, let us know about it so that we can correct it. That's one of the things that I think customers get so frustrated at is if they get something back and it doesn't work correctly or there's a problem with it, utilize that in-house 90-day warranty. Let us look at it again to see if we messed up.
Or it wasn't communicated. They expect a certain level of repair,
right,
and they didn't get it, but it wasn't clearly communicated necessarily. So,
and that's one of the biggest things.
And I'm not blaming the customer.
No. That's one of the biggest things. It's just like in the form we were talking about, through email, through phone call. When you send these items in for repair, tell me what you expect. Tell my coordinators what you expect, so that way we can pass it on to our service technicians. Because, not having any set expectations usually leads us down a path of either I didn't need that part of it repaired,
right,
or you didn't repair what I needed repaired.
I thought you were going to replace an O-ring, but you did. You repaired.
Correct.
You did.
And I get that. And a lot of times, some of the people who are sending us the stuff are people that are in their purchasing group or in just a maintenance group to get it out, or a shipping group. Hey, get this over to AirPower. The person who's sending it out doesn't know it. So we just need that line of communication to remain open and tell us what you expect, because the last thing I want to do is have a customer upset because we didn't meet expectations, but I need to know what those set expectations are.
Communication is
key.
Gold.
Yes.
Gold. You've got to communicate, no matter what you're doing. The communication in all aspects of AirPower is critical, and I think our company does a really good job communicating across the board, to each of the different departments. Everybody can always be better, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can always be a better communicator. So, all right. This was fantastic.
Enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to close out a couple things. 1-800-334-1001. Website for AirPower is airpower-usa.com. This Airwaves podcast will be visible at airpower-airwaves.com. That's AIRPOWER-AIRWAVES.com. Airwaves. Social media, you can find us at LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Please, we're growing in social media by the day. We have so many things going on right now. But I'm going to close out this episode with Tim Hynes, an episode of AirPower Airwaves, by saying, manufacture it a great day.